All right, shalom, y'all. Shalom, it's Michael Israel. Here for another good show. As you could tell by the title, we are talking about this is real talk and it's being vigilant. And um, th- this day and hour and this time, this is a topic that really needs to be talked about. And when I talk about being vigilant, I'm talking about being vigilant spiritually, but I'm also talking about being vigilant um, uh, in the natural too. Okay. Hold on one second. Yeah. So if you've been watching the news, there was actually a, a, a pretty major mass shooting yesterday at up in Buffalo, New York, at a grocery store. The guy killed like 10 people, shot like 13, and he live streamed it. And I've gotten snippets of the shooting of the video and photos of, like, you see him driving in his car and he pulls right up to the front of the grocery store. He gets out the car and he's standing behind the door. He has an AR-15, and it looks like on the sight, on the forward sight, he has the N word written on it. And he immediately gets out the car, boom, catches this lady right in the head. It was a white lady, caught her right in the head. And then he went and shot another person, went inside. The the supermarket or whatever it was in a black neighborhood. So um, and then upon further research, I guess with the news doing their probe, doing their research, all that stuff like that, uh, they found he is a bona fide, no joke, white supremacist or whatever. Um, and then trip off this. When the cops came, I guess he was about to shoot himself, and the cops talked him out of it and brought him in unharmed. Trip off that. Anyway, details that I watched it for a while yesterday because it happened yesterday at around 3 p.m. or something, or maybe that's when the news broke. But the long of the short, folks is getting demonized, folks is losing their minds, and we have to stay vigilant. Okay, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about is vigilant. I'm gonna be talking about it from a spiritual standpoint, but it has direct ramifications into the physical. What you're gonna find is they both kind of intertwine. And the reason I'm speaking on this because, man, I like, me and the brothers here went into this topic real deep because it's like an epidemic of people who are spiritually not vigilant. They're kind of uh, unaware of what's going on around them or in them. Um, and I've seen a lot of it. And after doing a bunch of biblical research, you find that, hey, that is Satan in the camp too, because that can bring a lot of destruction when you can't trust somebody to be vigilant with themselves, with the impulsive thoughts that come up in their head, with them being aware of what's going on around them. It can really be hazardous to the individual and to the brothers and sisters around that individual. And I've seen it a lot, not just here where I'm at, but coming up in life, being in the military. Um, it, it, because one of the I watch a lot of people lose their life over lack of vigilance. So one of the um, one of the verses that comes to mind, and I would say this would be one of the core verses uh, that I would this message would be kind of hinging around. I'm gonna find it here. Y'all just give me a sec. Okay. And then, like I said, we're gonna bring it all the way home too. Okay. All right. Let's see. It might be Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 10. All right. Give me a sec here. Second Corinthians 10. Yep, here it is. Okay. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, we're gonna get it though. I don't want to misquote it, so I definitely want to bring it straight on out. So that's why I want to. Let me pull it up here. I'm gonna just have to pull it up on Google. Apparently, oh, somebody sent it to me, but they didn't. But it's the verse: your adversary. I'm sorry about it. There we go. I got it. So this would be the core scripture on this lesson. The verse says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Okay, and that's First Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Okay, and what we did, me and the brothers yesterday morning, what we did is took that word vigilant and just really thoroughly defined that word vigilant. And here's some of the definitions that came up, and then we define the definitions because it puts words in there. So we define those words. So the definition of the word vigilant is watchful, circumspect, attentive, or it says attentive to discover and avoid danger or to provide for safety. So that's the definition of the word vigilant. And I asked brother, all right, well, let's see what that word circumspect means. Okay. So then we went into the word circumspect, and circumspect means literally looking on all sides, looking around, hence cautious, prudent, watchful on all sides, examining carefully all the circumstances that may affect a determination or a measure to be adopted. Okay, so that's the definition of circumspect. Okay, and then we define prudent. Okay, and because that was another word used in there. So prudent is cautious, circumspect, practically wise, careful of the consequences of enterprises, measures, or actions, cautious not to act when the end is of doubtful utility or probability or probably impractical. So that prudent really gets the meat off the bone with that definition of being vigilant. Okay. And I just want to go in on this prudent a little bit more. It says practically wise. So with practicality, you know what I'm saying? You're a practical person. I like where it says careful of the consequences of actions. That was one of them. It said enterprises and measures too, but particularly for what we're talking about here is that you're practically, I'm sorry, it says you're careful of the consequences of your actions, your thinking. Okay. And then the last part of prudent is cautious not to act when the end is of doubtful utility. And then the last one is probably it or it's well, let me because it has or there. So let me read it in that fashion. Cautious not to act when the end is of doubt. When the end is wait, hold on. Cautious not to act when the end is of probably when the end is probably impractical. Okay, it just y'all get where I'm going with it. I'm just trying to show you. So then what we did, and we're going to do it now, is then you read this verse, okay, and in the place of vigilant, you just insert these definitions. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay. It says be sober, be vigilant. But what I'm gonna say is be sober, be cautious of the consequences of actions. Okay. It says be sober, be looking on all sides, looking around. Okay. And it said, you can say that verse again, be cautious. I mean, well, it says be sober, and you can insert cautious or be sober, be cautious, prudent, watchful on all sides, examining carefully all the circumstances that may affect a determination or a measure to be adopted. Okay. Um, all I'm saying, you see what I'm getting at is this little defining this definition here really sheds light on something that I've seen like in the past here, even our Straightway Florida Assembly, it has plagued people who were not vigilant have plagued us at multiple times. And it's something I'm gonna be praying against because it's something for me is just really light hasn't been properly shed on it. But what is in the dark shall be exposed in the light. So the importance of just being vigilant is just insane. And it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And what is Satan? He's a deceiver. So he's sneaky. So it's not obvious. And one of the things I've talked about in the past is like these oopsie people or these brothers. I call them I thought brothers. Well, I thought. Well, see, I thought. And hey, close the door. Close the door. These I thought brothers. And I say, look, you got to be a I think brother and not a I thought brother. You know what I'm saying? That in the past, I was like, oh well, he just didn't know. Oh, it just slipped his mind. But the word specifically tells you to be sober and to be vigilant and to be able to watch on all sides in your life. Because I see these people that they're always plagued by situations. There's always something going on with them. In the past, and when I say in the past, I'm talking about even before I came to Straightway, man, there was some people, you see, they had their stuff together and they were very tuned in. They knew what was going on around them and in them. And when I say in them, the thoughts rising up. And we're going to get that. We can ready to get to that. But then I would see these other people, and there's always something going on with them. And they're always plagued with something. People are having to help them, and they not only are they having their issues, they cause two or three other people to slow down because of what they got going on. So they're a huge distraction. Come to find out, is Satan hindering the work? Satan's done snuck in the camp with non-vigilant people. It says, be sober, be vigilant. And like the way we defined it. So check this out. So this is where when me and the brothers were talking, this is where we went next. Let me show you the other verse. Okay. Uh, do, do, do. I have it here. I just saw this. I know I got this one. Yeah, we got some good verses here today. All right. Y'all just give me a sec. All right. It says, it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay. Now, and then we're going to go into the next verse. But what I want to point out is look what it's telling you here. It said weapons, warfare. Okay. It says Satan's sneaking around your enemy in war, seeking who he could devour. What does devour mean? He can just destroy you. And like I said, I watch people getting destroyed because they are not vigilant. They're not sober. They're not watchful. They're not aware of what the hell is going on in them and around them. So check this out. It says, this Second Corinthians chapter 10, and we go on to verse 5 now. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalt itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. What are you going to have to do in order to cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah? You're going to have to stay vigilant. And let's go back. Like I said, we go in slow motion with it. We're going to go back and look at that vigilant. Okay, hit them definitions again. We're going to just hit that prudent one. One, well, we'll hit them up, but in order to cast down these thoughts that exalt themselves against the knowledge of God, you're going to have to be watchful, circumspect, attentive to discover and avoid danger or to provide for safety. That is how you're going to cast. So when you see these people that are just constantly wrestling with sin and over and over, and there's always something going on with them. They're always missing. It's always something. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is: a lack of being vigilant. It's like they get rebuked, they get corrected, and then their mind clicks back on the autopilot, and they continue going back in the same direction, like that. You see what I'm saying? So um, this is probably what is going on, where you know, folks, you got these people like for me, it's like they just ain't getting it. And they got a desire, they got the zeal, but they just ain't getting it. And they're not vigilant. They're not being obedient to the word. And they're not on, nobody's on post. Nobody's on watch in their mind. And they're in enemy territory. And they just walking around with their head down. They're not scoping the perimeter. They're not looking for enemy soldiers anywhere. They don't got around in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? What's around in the chamber? The word. Have that word ready to go to cast down these thoughts and all that. They don't have that. They're just not vigilant. And the way this usually the way you usually see this manifest in the physical is you look at the individual, you look at their just their life situation, their career, their relationships, what they got going on around them. And a lot of times you could say, you could tell this person is not vigilant. What do you call it? You'd be like, they are asleep. Their eyes are not open. You see what I'm saying? And you are told to be vigilant. Okay? So hold on one sec. Let me see. So here's the other one. Okay. When one of we were talking about how you see manifestations of people not being vigilant, not being watchful in their mind. Um, and here's another one. Okay, what we talk about is a spirit of excellence. You got one person, man, they do stuff, and there's a spirit of excellence in what they do. Like Pastor was saying in his message, that say you're not having to look over their shoulders and treat them like little children all the time and check up on them and all that. They just have that spirit of excellence. So it says servants. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 22. It says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh. It says, not with eye service. And when you look up that word eye service is like Pastor was saying, when Pastor's around, everybody getting after it. As soon as Pastor leave, everybody, you know, the folks are slacking off. You know what I'm saying? And ain't doing nothing. So, and this goes right into the spiritual. You see a lot of saints like this where they they put on a good religious show, but then when it's time for the rubber to meet the road and for high moral character to be displayed, it ain't there. It's lacking. They messy. They're not vigilant, and they're a problem. Oh, but they praise with the best of them, but their hearts are far from Yah. You know what I'm saying? So again, it goes back to that being vigilant. But listen when it says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as man pleasers, trying to please man, but in singleness of heart, fearing God, not man, fearing Yah. Okay. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. What does that word heartily mean? Well, we looked that up. We went into that a little bit. And heartily means from the heart, with all the heart, with sincerity, really. I heartily forgive. It says with zeal, actively, vigorously, he heartily assisted the prince, okay? Eagerly, freely, largely, as to eat heartily. So it says, do it heartily as unto the Lord. So I watch the work ethic being here in Straightway, Florida, you know, people who have come and gone, I've watched that work ethic. And I'm like, yeah, they full of shit because they are not serving Yah. Not with that damn pathetic work ethic. Not with that mindset they got there. I don't see it. And I'm just sitting there watching the footwork and sitting back, making a little mental note and continue to observe. And then sure enough, people weed themselves out. But it's a sign. You know what I'm saying? This word is solid. Say you will know them by their fruit. You know, I be quoting that one all the time, footwork, you know that. But it's real talk. It's real talk. And but again, it, when I see people who don't have a spirit of excellence in the work they do, in their conduct, in the way they operate, um, it's like a smoke type thing. Once you see smoke, you'll see the fire everywhere else. So you in their life, you'll see the fire. You'll see them maybe struggling with careers, relationships, you name it. You'll see it in their moral character where the word says this, but they're blatantly doing that. And you see it, man. It comes out. It's real, you know. You ain't gonna fake this thing. Like you ain't gonna you're not gonna fake it. It's like the Most High's word is too real. It's too real, man. That's why it is real. Is real, is real. Okay. But yeah, that was let's see what else I got here. Because we got some more. Let's see. So here we go. Check this out. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Okay. And this is how to come out of that eye closed mindset where you're not vigilant. You're not aware. You're not prudent. You know, this is how to snap out of that so that you know what's going on around. You're aware. You know, your head, they in the military, they say, keep your head on a swivel. When I was out there, like I tell the story, I've told it before. When I was an aircraft mechanic, you know, when I came into the Air Force, man, they had all these rules. And you know, when you drive up to an airplane, you have to, anytime you come up to an airplane, you can only pull up to an airplane in the Air Force with the driver's side of your car. Okay, there's a lot of weird rules. When you approach an engine on an airplane, you can't approach it, the axial plane of rotation of the turbine or the rotating structures of the engine, because if that engine shells out, then blades come shooting out. When you approach a tire on an airplane, you have to approach the tire either from the front of the tire or the back, never the side, because if it blows out, it's like bullets coming out. Like I could go on and on with all these rules, and they yell at you for not. You get written up in all types of trouble for not obeying them rules. And I was like, man, all these rules, like what the heck, man? And then one day, you know, about a year or two in, we there was a, you know, potential war, whatever. They started dropping bombs over in Iraq or something like that for some situation coming. Anyway, it was a real world event, and we got deployed. And of course, you know, we the Air Force, so we way far away from the fighting. You know what I'm saying? We got deployed to Spain, to Rota, Spain, and we were out there on the flight line. And while yeah, we not near the fighting, but the flight line working on these planes is, it can be dangerous don't if you're not obedient to the rules. And even though I didn't understand why there were so many rules, I learned them and I obeyed them because they told us, hey, your life depends on it. But when we got out there to Spain, man, our ops tempo was so high. The ops tempo is just how many planes they're flying. I mean, there were planes going out, coming in, running. We're working on planes and fixing it. The the flight line where I was working, it just busy, stuff going on everywhere, and nobody was getting hurt. It looked like a well orchestrated, whatever you want to call it, where everybody knew what they were supposed to do, even though there was danger everywhere. You just stick to the rules and you stay vigilant. They tell you keep your head on a swivel. So you're always looking. If there's a gust of wind, it might blow like a tool or blow something, a can of something, and it could roll near a plane and get sucked in the engine and blow the plane. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's constantly vigilant, paying attention, keeping their rules. That was not the environment for dumbasses. And that's what we call people who are not vigilant. Or that's I ain't that's what we call. That's what I call. I got a bunch of other names too, you know. Um, I tell them get your head out your ass, and then once they get their head out their ass, you know, you still ain't all the way home because now you're a shithead because you got shit all over your head. So we still gotta get you straightened out. So there's work to be done there. And when a big part of this thing is when people have a teachable spirit, that them and they're willing and able to receive rebuke is it's not a big deal. And then when the brothers and sisters have wisdom enough to identify what the issue is, the brother or sister who's not vigilant, they have a teachable spirit. It's not a big deal. Like it ain't strenuous. But when we in the past we have had just people who had just they were walking in that stubborn stiff neck curse of Israel where they would not be corrected. And that, man, that it ain't nothing but Satan. And once you put that out away from you, the, a blessing comes. See, one of the things I've learned recently, man, is like coming in the straightway, man. I thought this thing was a numbers game. I thought I had to grow straightway Florida to these big numbers. Man, the word says where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. And brothers and sisters, I get this on a deep level, and because I'm actually seeing the fruit, and I'm seeing how fast the fruit is growing, and how abundant the harvests are coming on a spiritual, on an economic level here in Straightway, Florida, on getting us to our goal. I see it. So I kind of got off topic a little bit, but just that being vigilant and thinking about now I was telling you about the Air Force and how dangerous it can be working around these planes. Even more even highly more dangerous environment is would be in the Navy on aircraft carriers. That is a highly dangerous work environment on the decks of an aircraft carrier. Um, and there's people I look at, I'm like, man, it's like there's no way this person would ever survive out there. And then there's other people, I'm like, yo, yeah, this dude here would probably do better than me out there, you know. And these are the things I'm just always processing and looking at things and processing them. And some of the conclusions or whatever you want to call it, I've arrived at is is like there's a direct correlation between people's spiritual walk and their literal walk. Their the career that they're in or their success in life or whatever, and uh, that their spiritual success, their moral character, and their work ethic. All this stuff correlates. So when you see somebody who can't get their act together career wise out in the world, you see somebody, you look a little further, and it's the same thing spiritually. The thing goes right in the same direction relationship wise. You know, it all correlates together. And one of the core areas, like I said, that I was aware of, but I really didn't know where it was in the word and how to articulate it. But one of those core areas is being vigilant. Okay, let's read that again real quick, just because that definition is just so heavy and so on point. Let's see. It says, vigilant, watchful, circumspect, attentive to discover and avoid danger or to provide for safety. Okay. And then that circumspect one, I like that one too. Literally looking on all sides, looking around, looking around. Okay. Um, so those are just some such heavy definitions. And this is something to really go after on a spiritual level where the word tells you. Otherwise, you're gonna get attacked. Satan gonna come walk up on you and knock you on your head, and you're not gonna know what happened. And what do I mean? Because like I'm telling you, in the spiritual, it's in the physical. I watch these people, and they're not vigilant, and Satan come and knock them upside the head on something in their life, and they're just like, I just I just don't know what happened. I don't know. I thought, I thought, and we get into this word, and I'm telling them, don't be a I thought brother, be a I think brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's just such, man, it's just such real talk. Okay. All right. So check this out, because I mean, this gonna hit it all. So we have Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. Now this is in the ESV. I'm gonna go in the KJV. Okay. Joshua. Y'all give me a say. I like, man. I like Joshua. I'm about to do an extensive study on that book. Okay, so let's get this. What was that? Joshua 1:8. Let's get it. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. So if you meditating on this thing day and night, and it's telling you to be vigilant, and you're going to be vigilant, and you're going to know what to do in these situations. These goofy situations we see people getting in time and time again, that's a distraction to the work, that's hindering the work, that they get people, you might see people getting rebuked over and over and over and over and over and over again for the same thing. And it comes to this, because let me read through this whole thing. And then it makes sense. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Okay? And then it says, have not I commanded thee, be strong and of good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. I mean, that whole thing of how he showed Joshua how he blesses, but how Joshua had to work for it. They didn't just go kill all them people. Y'all didn't just kill everybody. They had to go out there and put work in. So fast forward, and another example is just looking at Straightway, looking at the leadership in Straightway, and looking at how they fulfill this. They're vigilant, they're watchful, they're strong and of good courage, and they're being led by Yah, and you see the fruit. You don't see a bunch of goofiness. Now I go look out there in Hebrew, I call it Hebrew dumb, or the so-called Hebrew Israelite community. You just see the same goofiness. It's literally Christianity repackaged, relabeled. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Same item, just repackaged, relabeled. You get into the bulk of what's out there that calls itself Hebrew Israelites, your life is going to stay the exact same. It's literally like just going into a college history course or a college philosophy course. There's really no difference. So yeah. But yeah, y'all, I really felt led to hit on that. Um y'all put a 100 up in there if what I brought out, if that made sense to y'all, if y'all are getting that, if y'all are receiving that, if you understand where I'm coming from, if I need to elaborate on anything, I'm trying to make sure I got all the meat off the bone. Yeah, so let's see what's I give y'all a sec. Uh okay, boom boom. Let me see. I think I got another verse here too. Yeah. No. Here it is. So here it is again. It's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, but I'm gonna read 6 with it also. Well, I'm seeing if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, responses, you name it. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. It says, unto thy own understanding. In all, not some, it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So when I see people, um, when I see people who are just constantly, let's say, messing up and a distraction, and they can't be what? They can't be counted on. You can't count on them. And they're doing eye service as man pleasers. They're trying to look the part, but they're really not the part. When I see that, I know that they're not trusting in the Lord with all their heart. Okay. I know that they're leaning to their own understanding. And I know they're not acknowledging him, the most high, in all their ways. I can see it. And the way I usually see is I just look at their life and I say, oh, okay, they're not totally committed to this. Okay, I see what they're clinging on to, you know. Okay, I see why they are constantly a stench among the saints. I see it now. I get it. Okay. And then but for me, the way I am, I have to it has to be clear. You know, I gotta. I don't like ambiguity. It got to be clear in the word, so I can instill it into my hardware in my brain. You know what I'm saying? And really internalize it and become, what the word is saying. All right. Let's see. And yes, that was brother. That was Joshua chapter 1, starting at verse 1 through 8. Okay. Let me see. Somebody, okay, let's see. Let's check that scripture real quick. Titus chapter 2. Let's see what you got there. Titus chapter Titus, whoops, fat fingered it. Titus 2, 11 through 15. It says, let's see. It says, okay, and I already have that highlighted. It says, for the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. And yeah, I see a lot of people, claiming that, but not actually doing it. And let's keep it real. Like doing that, you're gonna meet opposition. It says no man has given mother or house or daughter or family has given that up for his name's sake and not receive a hundredfold in this life and in the life to come with persecution. And again, there's a spirit of fear out there among people where people are hooked on other people. They're addicted to other people, places, things, like I say. Um, and they're not working their salvation out with fear and trembling. They're hanging on to other people, and those other people are holding them back with no intent on work seeking Yah, and they're holding them back. And there's a brother yesterday, one of the brothers here in Straightway, Florida, man, the Most High, you could see the Most High working on him. And I was talking to him earlier this week, or maybe it was last week. And he was just saying how, man, he like, and it was really encouraging to me for my work. He was like, man, he's like, I see all these people around me. He's like, they just hold me back. They ain't doing nothing. They just a distraction. And they're not trying to do what I'm trying to do. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I'm just focused in and I'm moving the way I need to move. And the hell with them, basically. And I'm like, brother, you get it. Praise y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what the way folks is. And it's like, man, if you look, when you look in the world and you see, hold on, let me rotate this thing. So I'm looking at the camera. There we go. Look, when you look in the world and you see all this craziness going on out here, you see them where they saying they're blowing up and destroying the food plants and stuff. China acting up. They talking about China basically preparing for war, getting ready to invade Taiwan because they watching how we dealing with Russia. Russia talking about they might invade Finland or Poland or something. You see, don't even get me started with this wicked ass country where you can see, I see a clear, I see a two party, I see clear civil unrest coming with the way the Republicans and the Democrats, how polarized they are, how divided they're becoming to the point where like I talked to some of these extreme right-wing Republicans, dude, they hate Democrats more than they hate like Putin or something. You know what I'm saying? Me, I give a damn about either the Republican or Democrat. I vote Yah. I'm with Yah. You know what I'm saying? And what I see the setup coming is for a civil unrest. Because I could tell you, man, the people on the Republican side that I work around, man, they ready for war. So it's like you see this storm clouds forming, and everybody sees it. And for them to be half in and lollygagging and playing around and not trying to get their spirits in the right place, get their lives together, get their lives aligned with the Most High Yah. And to see that is just, you know, it's like what happened. It got to a point where, for me as a head of assembly down here, I was like, I was like, you know what? I was like, the word says, rebuke them a couple times, and after that, let Satan deal with their ass. And I started implementing that and praying to Yah about that, and got my head down and started focusing on what Yah had me to do on my assignment. And lo and behold, I look up and I'm like, wow, the the distractions are gone, and look at the fruit that's been bare. Like, it's like walking up a hill and you trying to drag people up the hill, and you got to walk back down because somebody else fell down and wants you to drag them. So you trying to drag those people up the hill, and you looking and you at the bottom of the goddamn hill. And you like, what the hell? And then you like, look, you know how to walk. If you're gonna walk, or we leaving your ass. Okay. And then so you start walking up the hill, and you just focus on walking up the hill, and you just looking down, watching your feet to make sure you don't trip going up the hill, and you stepping up the hill and focusing on your feet. And then you take a moment to stop and look around. You're like, man, I'm halfway up this hill. You turn around and look back, see them way the hell back there. Like, literally, that's an analogy to the way this is, And it's that time where, hey, we got to get serious. Let's see, 1 verse 7, one of my go-to scriptures. 1 and 7. What book? Which one you talking about? Oh, you talking about I know what you're talking about. You talking about hold on. You talking about Joshua 1 and 7? Let's hit that real quick, because I know I just read it, but only because that's what it really embodies what this walk is about, what this life's about. It says, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper wheresoever thou goes. Wherever you go. Okay? So wherever you go. So yeah, that's good, man. I like that. I like that scripture there. So anyway, y'all. With that said, it's been about an hour. One of the brothers here, what we doing here is I had to do a water pump on this van here. We've been straightway Florida boy. We've been getting after it, man. Okay, there he is. He back. Parts guy's here. But straightway Florida has been getting after it. We, like I said, a week or so ago, we were up in Atlanta. We were up there doing a job in the city at a building down there in the city. We knocked that job all the way out. We're doing a parts warehouse. We've been doing that this week. We'll probably finish that up Monday. Then we got work to do at the school this week. One of the brothers, we're sending one of our brothers up to Straightway Indy to finish up their camera system up there. So we got to fly him out sometime late this week. And then when we come back, I got a calendar list. And what we're doing is getting after it hard, building up, trying to reach our goals so we can get a desirable piece of land here in the coming months. That's why I said months. And so that is the game plan. And we are moving towards it. And like I said, we're not veering to the left or veering right. We just staying focused on Yah, and just with like Pastor, like he told me uh when I saw him up in Indy, he said, "Stay the course." That's all he said. And I was like, cause I think I asked him to come down and visit or something. He like, nope, nope, my brother. He said, "Stay the course." I was like, "Stay the course." I was like, "Stay the course." That's how I walked off, you know. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty heavy." I was like, "Stay the course." So I've been staying the course, you know. And it's the real deal. Not leaning on my own understanding. A lot of the stuff I've thought I knew growing up and all that. Teacher Shane in the building. Shalom. Teacher Shane said, "Not many will hold to the vision." That's real talk. That's real talk, Teach. Yep, real talk. Man, I seen it. I see it. A lot of people, man, folks do a lot of talking, but they're not really about that action when it come down to it. it like if you're like, "I gotta give up that," and they're like, "Peace." You don't see them no more. Uh, it's Sister Koya in there. Y'all say shalom to Sister Koya. See a lot of y'all in there. I'm just going through, making sure y'all don't have any questions. So yeah, but anyway, y'all, that's all I got. I'm getting ready to finish up this water pump on this van so we can press on with our plan of the day. I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We are Straightway, Florida. Shalom, shalom.